Update 50 is a cool one because it introduces a brand new hero, SILAS. A new hero commanding the power of ice. He can freeze balloons and buff ice attacks. Other new features this update is a new intermediate map as well as Powers Pro. In this video though, we'll take a more in-depth look into SILAS, and just a quick note, this is an early access. The update, if you're watching it as it comes out, will be out around next week. So mark your calendar. His description gives us some more info about how he works. He boosts the tower of ice attacks and also is amphibious, can be placed on land or water. Starting at level 1, he can rhyme balloons, and whenever he attacks an already rhyme balloon, he will freeze them, and then make them take extra damage, as well as a slowing aura. Level 2, Ice Monkeys of Radius can create orbiting ice shards when they attack. As much as I like to play on the new map for this showcase, I don't think it actually works too well with the hero, so instead, we'll just do a chill frozen over game. God, I gotta cool down with these puns. Now, I don't know the percentage, but isn't it kind of crazy that for only $825 you basically have an Arctic Wind? Arctic Wind is $2,500, but he already gives a slow aura around like his radius. Now, heroes are supposed to be cost efficient, so I guess that plays a factor. And also, I talked about level 1 and 2 outside a game, because with Monkey Knowledge, heroes start at level 3, so now that you know what the first 2 levels look like, let's take a look at level 3. But before that, I want to show you, I guess, the new effect that he can put on balloons, Rhymed. A brand new stats effect only for SILAS. As you can see, if SILAS is the only thing on screen, it will take 2 shots for it to actually freeze. I'm not sure how much extra damage it takes. I think we have to wait until balloons are higher than a green. But we know it at least does +1 extra damage. And as I drop an ice tower, you can see the new icon is to show that every time it attacks, it will spawn an ice shard. Let's see. Yep. Take a look at that. Take a look at the beauty of that ice over there. Now, do those shards ever disappear at all? Yes, they do. Now, it seems like it might be a lifespan thing, because it disappeared when it didn't hit a balloon, just like seemingly after a certain amount of time. So I wonder if there is a pierce cap at all on that. That's pretty cool, though. That kind of reminds me of the Mystic Twister artifact in Rogue Legends, where it pulls each monkey's projectile into an orbit around it. You know, knowing Ninja Kiwi, they probably added that artifact as a test to see how it would work if it was actually a feature, because that's how they do things. They add seemingly small features that end up being used for something much bigger. We also have level 4 now, which starts spawning these ice pillars, and I forgot to go over what level 3 is, but his frostbite ability, it can make SILAS hit all balloons while active, as well as when hitting frozen balloons, target will take extra damage based on how much time is left on the remaining freeze, which sounds incredibly broken with the Absolute Zero, because I know Absolute Zero freezes balloons for an incredibly long time. And if you did not hear me just literally recently talk about how Absolute Zero is the greatest tier 5 in the game, it's not even close, well, talk about Ice Monkey power creep, because now there's a hero that buffs them. But let's take a look at level 4 here. Ice walls form on the track near SILAS. Each ice wall pushes back and freezes balloons, as well as freezing Moabs for a shorter time too. I don't know about you, but that seems really good for only a level 4 hero to be able to slow Moabs, even though I don't know the percentage right now. Level 5. White balloons are less resistant to cold attacks. Monkeys that freeze balloons freeze them for longer. And now, as you can see, this ice monkey has a second icon. I wonder if those who, try to go for the record of stacking the most amount of buffs, if that winner now applies to the ice tower, because this is a lot of icons just for it. But level 5 here is kind of akin to Striker's level 5, I think. Also, I apologize for all the hints coming up, because it's an early access account, it will keep doing that. I also am going to use the level 3 ability, because as you see, even though white balloons are less resistant, it's still missing a lot of them for this round. Hopefully I can get them all in time. Good. As I was saying, though, Striker cannot pop black balloons until level 5, at which point he has a 50% immunity to them. You also could see there earlier that SILAS can pop camos. He cannot pop purple, so we're going to use another level 3 ability just to be able to get that. Makes sense he can't pop purples because it is a magical ice bolt attack. According to Ninja Kiwi's words, SILAS is what happens when you teach an ice monkey magic. Also gives some additional descriptions about Silas, and that it looks like it's mostly a support hero, heavily supported by Ice Towers, and also no lead PP, right? Well, we can use level 3, remember? Oh, it's so good. If it's like Brickle's level 3, combined with Striker's level 5, and then now at level 6, it seems like it's sub-advanced intel-like attack, but only working for Ice Monkey. So if I put an Ice Monkey all the way uppity over here, it'll be able to attack a lot earlier this round, see? Yep. Use the ability now. And that's how we get them leads. And also, with the big range, you can see that Silas really harnesses magic because he starts with his projectile, like, teleported right to that Ice Tower. I don't think it does that if balloons are in range, as you see. It starts from Silas's range and then travels, but if it is a balloon all the way over there, then that is cool. Okay, seriously, I gotta stop with that. Now, despite being only a support hero, we are able to save up this much money, so he feels quite strong to me in the early so far. But Oakley Dokley, time for level 7 where he gains a second ability. Frozen Cascade will create a shattering blast of ice around Silas, and then other Ice Monkeys spreading out from Silas. Frozen Balloons take extra damage from the ability. 35 seems like a tough round, so let's use it. Boom. And that was it. Not too flashy, but it looks like it's just like an Ice Shard attack coming up from any Ice Monkey and himself. Now, I think I'll use it again for 37. I'm gonna spend my money at this point. I don't think we're meant to save up $11,000 in the early game and leave it at that. Again, it was pretty funny how much I hyped up Brickle and Ice Monkeys being such a crazy new great combo now, because Ice Monkeys can be put on water only for this year to be released. So round 40, what should I do here? Should I use that Ice Shard attack? I think I did 40 damage. I don't think the level 3 ability does anything either, unless it freezes balloons. No, when it freezes, it'll do extra damage. But I don't think we'll have the mob damage here. Okay, gotcha. Well, I know the perfect remedy. Icicles is a pretty decent amount of mob damage. As you see, 11 per shot. So we use the shard ability and have 3 Ice Monkeys create shards around the Moab for an easy round 40 kill. Awesome. You can also see a preview of level 8 in that every tier 3 Ice Monkey we get will grant more hero XP. So let's not waste any time. Get as many, I guess, Ice Shards as possible so that we can save from, or we can get level 20 earlier. Feels like Silas is already leveling up really quickly though, so this feels more of a luxury than actually a necessity. Upcoming level 9, Frozen Balloons damage during Frostbite will take even more damage, as well as increasing the damage appears of Ice Shards. Let's not forget too that Silas's attacks can also trigger Ice Shards, so that makes round 49 so satisfying. I mean, Ice Shards is known to delete big groups, but that's really great to see. I was so close to saying cool again there. But let's see if we need to use anything for mobs here. Like, if I can save level 7, because if I can, then all the better. Once again, I know this is just frozen over, but it's kind of ridiculous just how many buffs, like, Silas has given Ice Shards only, or any Ice Tower, just at level 9. Don't forget there is, like, a lot more to come. After playing with Silas, there sure will be a lot more to come. Level 10 is another ability, Frozen Burial. Immediately freezes and damages every balloon, dealing far more damage to already frozen balloons, and then fails to track with ice walls. So you're telling me it's like an Absolute Zero, except if you have an Absolute Zero an existing Absolute Zero, then you now have a damaging Absolute Zero. Let's not waste any time at this point, eh? We should just drop with our 30k that Absolute Zero and see, like, just how crazy that synergy is. Silas getting more XP from tier 3 monkeys. I assume that means tier 3 and above, because it'd be really weird if it was just stuck at tier 3. Regardless, we're doing so well right now that I think I'm literally just gonna waste money buying the cheapest tier 3 monkey, which I think is an Ice Shards, or is it Cryo Cannon? Nah. Cryo Cannon's a little bit more money. Okay, so to see how much damage Silas will do, well, let's use Absolute Zero first, and then level 10. Let's take a look. This and that for looks like 100, which I know might sound low at first until you consider that it's likely a full map range 100 damage, so pretty freaking nasty if it was more than just a BFB. But I just wanted to see We'll use the ice shards now to delete the BFB insides. God. That's nasty. Once again, don't mind SILAS to just one ice shards destroying each 63 wave. It's kind of mildly infuriating being $200 off the next level, so I'm just going to spend that and show you the next 2 levels. So now we gained a stronger slowing aura around SILAS, as well as the ability to slow up Moabs instantly. And then level 12, his ice walls can hit more balloons, last longer, as well as Frozen and Rhyme Balloons taking more damage from its main attack. So much for being a heavy support here, huh? I mean, to be fair, if you compare his 16k damage to this ice shard at the very beginning, 65k, then yeah, I can very much see why he's heavy support. He's literally making this one ice shard at the beginning so strong that we legit don't have to buy any other defense. As long as we pop Moabs before it gets out of range of the ice shards, it'll catch everything. As the main character, I initially wondered why Ninja Kiwi put out an ice-themed hero during the heat of and middle of summer. But then I realized that in New Zealand, it's technically winter there, so that tracks. Give it up for the animation team also for these very satisfying SILAS attacks. You've got his magic bolts chaining across every BFB here, making for a very satisfying watch. I should also alert you to level 13, which is kind of crazy. Ice Monkey tier 5 is cheaper, but that's not the catch. You can build a new 4th tier 5 of any path. White balloons also lose all resistance to cold, so there goes the ice weakness. We can now hit camo, white, literally any type of balloon. But first off, let's see, how much cheaper is Super Brittle? 22.6. If we click here, 30.2 is initially, or the original cost. Okay, quick math says it's 25% off tier 5s. Wow, that's actually a pretty big deal. Now, it sounds like the 4th tier 5 is also a big deal, until you realize that 1, we don't have an ice perk on yet, and number 2, stacking 2 tier 5 ice monkeys isn't as strong as other towers. Like, if they were actually DPS, then yeah, having 2 Mads, for example, would be crazy. But do we really need to double down on 2 absolute zeros? We already have enough freezing as it is. Super Brittle is also support, and there were a lot of times where you really just need 1 Super Brittle to give plus damage to one area, but I guess I can see 2 Super Brittles being useful for, say, a boss event, where you cannot Chinook. As for Icicle Impale, same thing applies. It's support. You're already slowing balloons down. Do you really need a second one? Unless you're there for the damage, but there's much better damaging things than Icicle Impale. If I had to pick a second tier 5 for this game, I would probably pick Super Brittle. 1 over here, and then 1 in the back. Let's just get a 5-0-0. Alright, and here we can see the single damage prowess of SILAS. Each attack looks like 16 damage before any freezing. Now that I freeze, it is 17. Okay, that's not much more, but if I use Frostbite, which increases frozen damage, it's now 50. I think more than 50 per shot. Pretty good. As is very fitting for this hero, taking down high HP targets is going to take a long time. Or rather, it's going to be really slow. Let's make it slightly faster by sharding and winning. Not too crazy at SILAS level 14, it just gives more shards that rotate around the balloon, so slightly more DPS. I haven't really seen much of them lately, especially none around the ice shards, which leads me to believe, yeah, it's definitely getting pierce capped. There's not a whole lot of pierce on those towers. Level 15 is a friendly reminder to always use Absolute Zero before every ability, because now every ability will make SILAS do extra damage to frozen balloons. Level 16 seems like it's just even more damage, which again is certainly needed because these rounds have grinded to a standstill. So let's wait till here. 1, 2, and 3. And also, I'm pretty sure SILAS' slow on ZMGs is just insane, like 50% if I'm looking at it. Nothing else is slowing. This is before even reaching the Absolute Zero range. The amount of utility it provides is just like too good to be true. Yep, and as you can see, I have SILAS in strong, and the moment he instantly targeted those GMGs, they just went to Icicle Impale speed. Wow. I think it's time we take these balloons to Pound Town. We can finally afford an Icicle Impale, which I badly need, not for the utility, but literally just to do more damage to these guys. the 50 damage, or is it 30 on hit? I'm not sure exactly, but it should make rounds pass a lot quicker, so I'll put it on strong because of that. Literally anything, any ceramic that leaks cannot leak. We have so much freezing on screen. And now to show you the next couple levels, level 17 makes tier 3 Ice Monkeys create even more shards, so yay, more damage. Level 18, slowing aura around Silas is even stronger. Ryan Bloons take more damage, main attack does more area damage. So nothing too special at this point, literally just telling us you can end these rounds faster. I could probably fact check this myself, but it feels like Silas' leveling speed, given it's round 96 and only level 17 with all of these Ice Monkeys on screen, is probably one of the slowest ones in the game. Maybe not Churchill level, but quite slow, which again is fitting. I also just realized because of round 97, there's actually good merits going for 2 Aptitude Zeros for the attack speed, remember? The Aptitude Zero for 10 seconds makes every other Ice Monkey shoot 50% faster approximately, so having 2 of them right now would be full uptime. Alternatively, I could literally just get an Energizer, and then that's basically 2 times the Aptitude Zero abilities, but as you can see, I'm trying to do this with just Ice Monkeys, and it's seemingly working just fine. We'll spam all 3 abilities after freezing to pop them down a little bit faster, to the point where hopefully we don't need to do a second Aptitude Zero, but it would just go down faster. Alright, we're approaching the end levels of Silas, so quickly. At level 19, Ice Walls have even more pierce and lifespan. Ice Shards pierce more and then do even more damage to Frozen. Now, the bads sadly do not have Frozen properties, so I think this actually kills us, right? I forgot. Wow, Silas is awful against that. Negative bad damage. Ice Shards does how much? Let's see. Okay, Ice Shards is where it's really clutch. That was like 1,000 damage there. But unfortunately, we don't get that many level 7 abilities. Tis but a scratch with that ability. Another one? Yeah, it's not enough. Level 7 is the key, though, it seems. Do note it is the 10 closest Ice Monkey around Silas, so what I'm gonna do this time is I'm just simply going to get more base Ice Monkeys around the radius. In fact, screw it. Ice Skulls is our best betted damage, so we'll drop those down. Use this now, and wow, that was awesome. We got 1 extra damage phase from that ability. I also can't tell if it either didn't damage like on these Ice Monkeys here, or these were not counted as part of the 10. Because I still think it might not work. In fact, if I want the closest 10 to actually work better, I need to sell these, don't I? These aren't around the radius. This is. Use that. Yep, this one activated. At least I thought I did Ice Shards, but it still says 0 damage, so I'm unsure about that. Just know it is closer though, as you see. Alright, time to actually lock in. So I used my second tier 5 on actually Ice Skull Impale. Instead of just having full uptime and Aptitude Zero, just double the damage of your strongest Ice Monkey. And that should be a good amount of extra damage, yeah. That Ice Skull Impale did 4,000. We just need to get 1 more level 7, and then we got it. Nice. Ice Shard here. And G easy. Whoa. That's a cool insta pop-up. Big upgrade from, I guess, the very normal pop-up we had initially for the first 49 updates. I approve. And now we take a look at Silas' final level. Level 20 will make Frozen Bloons take even more damage. Creates walls more often. Monkeys that freeze Bloons, freeze them yet longer again. Monkeys that freeze Bloons, freeze them yet longer again. Is that English, guys? I'm pretty sure that doesn't, but whatever. To keep it a little bit real, I'm kind of, not disappointed, but I'm surprised that I think every level after level 10 was just like more damage on, or just enhancing something of one of the existing things Silas got in the first 10 levels. Nothing new, but I guess I was already super spoiled by what Silas gave like initially. And what is there to really say at this point? Nothing's gonna get past this Ice Army until bats come again on 119. But I guess if anything, you can stay impressed by the fact that Silas is going to keep every balloon up until the bad round at the first bend, pretty much. Here's my day 1 hot take. Not even hot take, really, but I expect Silas to be a really good hero in regular gameplay, like Chimps mode, for example. Ice Monkey already being an A/S tower, this is just going to propel them and Silas even higher. Bosses, I really don't see much use in him. Ice monkeys aren't known for their damage anyway. The only reason you bring Silas is for 2 super brittlers, which is probably a very niche scenario if you ask me. Races, I do see him being viable though, because ice monkeys are good there. Does anybody actually care about races though? Last round I'm going to show, because this is definitely the dentist round of them all. How much damage can, say, an Icicle Impale do in a short amount of time? Well, let's blast off every ability. And each shard seems to be doing a solid, I don't know, several thousand. So much so that we're getting approximately 10k DPS from a support tower. And I said how nothing until 119 would get even close to turning the bend, and I think I'm pretty much correct in that sentiment, right? Yeah. Now that you get the point, let's run the numbers on some of Silas's attacks. For example, I'm kind of curious about the level 7 ability. It does 20 damage on just a normal bad. Yikes. How come I saw it do 2,000 damage that time? Did I use other abilities? Like, let's use the other 2 first. No. Still 20. Maybe it's that it counts the ice shards as damage from Silas. Like, when I saw 2,000, it was from every other ice monkey, and I think it is. Yeah. That was 200 damage right there. All the other ice monkeys show 0, so that makes more sense. Because I was like, if Silas did 2,000 damage, and there were 10 other ice monkeys creating shards, wouldn't that have one-shot the bad? No. Collectively, it just did 2,000 damage total, which ain't much, but it's something. One more go at this here, from 6 damage to 500. Couldn't quite get 1,000 there, but I think I'm just doing Super Brittle, or missing Super Brittle. One more looky. 1,000 damage. I think I've officially said everything I need to say, so at this point, let me know what you guys think of Silas. Yay or nay? I give him a yay, but that's just me. Damn, also Frostbite did a crazy amount of damage initially there. Before I go, I'd like to remind you that Ninja Kiwi has opened a web store where currently they have sales on several OP items like Double Cash, 30% off, and gives you a free tier 5, cheaper Monkey Money, as well as cheaper tier 4. So in case you're ever interested in that, then that's an option. Dropping a code ISAB would be very cool too, thanks. And again, thank you for watching. I know I didn't cover the Banana Farmer Pro or the Super Monkey Beacon in this one, but stay tuned for an in-depth coverage soon.